Thank you, Mark, and welcome to today's conference. Today we're going to be addressing the role of religious leaders in building peaceful societies and combating violent extremism. First, I want to thank our sponsors, the IDC, Mark Donfeld, and all you people that came out of it and taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us in this important program. My name is Rabbi Yakov Cohen. I serve as a special envoy for the Institute of Noahide Code in the United Nations as an NGO for ECOSOC. My responsibilities include both defending the rights of men, women, and children for both Christian, Jews, Muslims, and all people. I'd like to open up with a story that took place here in New York in 1991 during some very difficult times in Brooklyn, the Crown Heights neighborhood known as Crown Heights, where Hasidic and blacks live side by side. There was a riot which took place, and then the mayor of New York was Mayor David Dinkins. And Mayor Dinkins came to the Rebbe, Rabbi Schneerson, as mayor and as a member from the black community. And he said to the Rebbe, after speaking to the Rebbe, he said to the Rebbe, I hope we could unite both communities, two communities. To which the Rebbe replied, we are one community, under one God, under one administration. Basically, today's role, One People, One World Under God, which is the title of my TV show. It says, why can't we, people think, why can't we all get along? In order for life, for something to last forever, there has to be a function of a foundation as well as a logical premise. In other words, for us all to live together. And the three things that we all have in common is, first of all, we're all created by God, by a Heavenly Father in the divine image. And secondly, each and every one of us, including plants, have a goal, there's a purpose in life. There's a meaning in life. And the third thing is that God has given every single one of us the 7 universal laws of Noah by which to live by. And I'll briefly go through what they are. The first one is to believe in God, to believe that there's an eye that sees, there's an ear that hears. And the second one is to pray to God, not to curse God, and to establish a relationship with God. He's not just someone far away, but it's someone that you have a personal relationship. And the third one is not to kill, which includes abortion, not to commit adultery, not to be cruel to animals, and to establish courts of justice. These are known as the 7 laws of Noah. I'd like to open up with a little joke that a rabbi, this whole event is about bringing different cultures and different faiths together. A rabbi and a priest were walking down Fifth Avenue, not far from here. And the priest says, and the rabbi has the black fedora hat. And the priest says to the rabbi, and for the sake of unity, I'm gonna buy a hat like yours. And we're gonna walk together. We'll both walk around with black hats. So they go into Saks Fifth Avenue, and he puts down $500, and he buys a hat. And they're walking, and after 2 minutes, a bird comes along and does its thing on the priest's hat. So the priest says, God damn it. And the rabbi says, thank God. He says, what do you mean, thank God? Here I brought a beautiful hat for the sake of unity, and all of a sudden you say, and look what happened. He says, thank God. Yeah, thank God cows don't fly. The Universal Noahide Code is about peace. Jewish faith explains that the wonders of creation is, although every face is essentially the same, no two faces are identical. Meaning everyone has a unique feature features. Just like no two faces are alike, no two minds are alike. Everyone has a unique way of looking at things. We all have cultures. We all have our education, how we've been taught, and this is something which is ingrained in us. But the fact that there's all these differences should not only be tolerated, but should be celebrated. Celebrated meaning that each one, God created 70 nations, created people of different walks of life, Just like a body is made up of different parts of the body, so too the human race is made up of different people, all coming together as one. Not everyone, not the head becomes the foot, or the right hand becomes the left hand, but everyone does their function, but they unite together as one. The Torah's message, the Torah is the Bible, which is given down on Mount Sinai, for not just for the Jewish people, but God gave these seven principles for all people, and these principles are basically essentially a bridge to unite all people. And it's a bridge, it's a means of peace, to bring down peace. And these principles are a foundation by which to live by. The seven Noah, they're named after Noah, because he was the one that God gave the seventh principle. So Noah was a man that went against the tens and the tides of his generation, meaning the whole world was wicked. There were corruption and so on. We'll just wait for the phone. There was corruption. And Noah went against the tides. He said he's going to build an ark, he's going to study, he's going to believe in one God. He's not going to be wild and crazy, and he's going to follow the one and only God. And thanks to Noah, we're here today, because we're all children of Noah. Before there was any divisions amongst Judaism, Catholic, Islam, there was only Noah. We're all one, essentially came from that. So we all have to take a step back and go back to our roots and follow the fundamental, which is the Noahide laws. And his message is as valid today as it was then. As a matter of fact, it's probably more valid today with all the, so to speak, coexistence of everyone wanting to be men wanting to be women wanting to be men. Everyone has their role, and everyone has to be who they are. Not everyone becomes Jewish, not everyone becomes Catholic, not everyone becomes Muslim. But we all come together, we find that bridge, that unity, that common thread that unites us all, and that common thread is the laws of Noah. The United Nations Sustainable Development Goals envisions zero hunger, no poverty, decent work and economic growth. May I propose that the Universal Noahide Code and the belief in one God promotes equal treatment for all human beings. Mankind's unity reflects God's indivisibility. The respect for human life envisioned by the Universal Noahide Code promotes respect of human beings. That no human being should be deprived of food, as we are seeing regrettably in Korea, in Syria, as a means of social control and beating people into deprivation and subjugation. The right of all human beings be remunerated properly for their work, and multinationals should take into account local practices, balancing profits as well as local cultures and so on, meaning that local individuals should be taken into account, not just, that's the first one, zero poverty. The second one is the UN Sustainable Development Goals promotes partnering with the other goals. As you all know, there's 17 SDGs, as we call them, which is called for the 2030 agenda, which they hope by 2030 there will be no poverty, and all these 17 goals will be implemented. May I further propose that the Universal Noahide Code there's no greater partnership in society than the family. The respect for human life within the family, and respect for the most vulnerable, which are the young, the weak, the infirm, and the old. And although not so politically correct, may I suggest also the respect for the unborn child. We are all here today in this room because our right to be born was respected. And the respect for human life, respect is for the unborn child, meaning abortion is forbidden. And ultimately, this promotion of justice, the Universal Code also strengthens promotion of a social justice and a judicial system. And as the saying goes, with no peace, no justice. There has to be justice. And the Universal Noahide Code, by the way, has come through the challenge between, as you all know, in America there's a division between church and state, and they don't want to have one religion promoting one particular religion. The Universal Noahide Code has been promoted in the United States as public law, overcoming that by introducing it as education, and essentially these laws follow all religions. It's beyond, it's above all religions. So essentially, this code is universal in the sense that it rises amongst all religions and includes all religions. Okay, and we're all created by God. And this is not only not only do we have something in common with our fellow human beings, we also have something in common with our fellow animals and vegetation and environment. And in the universe itself, we need a vigorous campaign, which I'm proud the Institute of Noahide Code stands for, by promoting these universal values to all people. And this this allows us to serve God and to actually to rise up above our instinctive individual needs and realize the thread that unites us. You know, as the saying goes, everyone, you know, I like to make another little joke. It's only a joke, so don't take it seriously. That everyone took from Judaism, Catholics, Muslims, they all came from the Torah. So if you want to buy it wholesale, and you want to get not one sleeve but the full jacket, come to the Jewish people. And the idea is that the Jewish people is the only nation that doesn't want and doesn't require people to become the same and to become Jewish, because God created everyone with their unique differences, and and each one is unique. So you have more emotional people, you have more spiritual people, you have more intellectual people. Everyone is unique, and everyone should come together as one. You know, and we had a giant here in the United States. May his memory be a blessing. The Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr., who said, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what am I doing for others? The Rebbe, Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson, which this house is known as Chabad House, which he founded, also taught us that a little light dispels a lot of darkness. Not far from this, the Dr. King underlined, darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do it. But what is love based on? Love, as Jewish mysticism teaches us, is realizing that we are one in many bodies. One universal mission, affirming each and every one of us has been made in the image of our Maker, challenge us to rise above our instinctive selfish self, and in a matter, and we can only do this by partnerships, including the basic core, which is society, which is the family unit, and respect for human life, including the food and so on, and an entire creation. Practically, each and every one of us, by dedicating our lives individually and collectively, that I'm not just here a biological being born one day to die another, but rather I'm an ambassador of our Creator to add in the realm of goodness and kindness into the world. I take upon myself the responsibility to share this message, a message of truth, a message of empathy, a message of love. Then and only then can the message of the United Nations be realized, which the famous prophet Isaiah comments, which Isaiah wrote, as it says, their swords, instruments of war, shall be transformed into plowshares, and their plowshares, which are again instruments to bringing man's sustenance, and we shall never see war again. So let's, from this meeting, take away the thread and the positive message that we are one. We all have ability to add light, and now before Rosh Hashanah, which is the new year, is very apropos and very opportune that we take upon this message that the whole world is created for God and by God, and every one of us represents represents that ability to bring that light and to bring that wholesomeness and to bring peace and love. Because at the end of the day, peace Shalom means complete. Peace means complete. When we have peace inside of us, we have peace around us, we have peace with our neighbor, that only then can we have peace for all of us. I want to thank you very much, and Shana Tova. And that's it.